Gohring Instructor Figg.
Thank you, sir. Now to advanced and intermediate students. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's start with a little breathing and relaxation.
Yes, sir.
Allow your eyes to close. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. Imagine a cascade of relaxation flowing down the body, starting at the top of the head, going down to the bottoms of the feet. Relax the face, neck, feel the upper back and chest relax. Relax shoulders, arms, and hands. Feel the stomach and low back relax. Relax the waist, the hips, thighs, backs of the legs. Feel the knees soften. Allow the relaxation to continue down through the calves, the ankles, and the feet. If you notice your body rocks or sways a little bit, it's okay. Just don't force it. And the next time you breathe out, release, lower the hands, open the eyes. Separate the feet shoulder width apart. Turn the toes in so the outside edges of the feet come parallel. Bend the knees, circle the arms in front. Feel the evenness of weight between the left foot and the right foot. Even though the concentration of weight is on the outside edge and on the heel. Tuck the pelvis, and once you get the toes in, the knees out, and the pelvis tucked, do an extra relaxation through the legs. Make sure you're not holding them in place with tension. Relax, feel your weight pressing into your feet. We'll just hold about 3 more minutes today. notice other thoughts popping up, just kind of notice that they happen and return your attention to the breath. And release, straighten the legs, lower the hands, circle the arms up, breathe in. Push palms down, breathe out. All right, let's do a few ride the wild horse, middle distance, just 3 of them. And begin. Continue. Good. 2 more. Last one. See if you can keep the feet relaxed, the ankles relaxed through the whole process. Feel the relaxation from the feet spreading up to the rest of the body. Even when you're pushing through the feet, allow them to stay relaxed. Okay, release. I'm going to remove this. It's been a minute since all the non-masked people were in here. All right, let's review going from cross hands all the way through our moves. There was a request to review the cross form kick a little bit more, so we'll do that after we continue our warm up with practice. And then, yeah, we'll continue from there. So from cross hands.
Yes, sir.
You know, actually, let's mix it up. Let's go right into the later moves and review and go forward, and we'll end class with a nice run of either the whole third section or the part that we've learned so far. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's go to right before our cross form kick, and let's do it a few times to jog our memories about what's happening, and then we'll talk through the corrections after that. So as we're doing it, if you have questions, kind of note what they might be. And begin. And let's actually do punch to groin as well. And let's just do those 2 moves here. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to rush you there.
Well, that's all right, sir.
And begin. And one more time, and then we'll review some of. Oh, I remember it was the weight shift. That was the question. Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and then we'll go through it with the weight shift. Begin. See if you can guess what the weight shift might be. Okay, good. Now, let's break it down. We're starting from what move? Piercing palm. Turn body cross form kick. So before we begin, you'll feel 60 or 70% of your weight on the front leg, the other percent on the back. Shift back, you'll feel it go substantial on the right leg. And don't lean back. keep your Tai Chi alignment. That'll allow you to turn the left toes, which should have no weight in them, a little weight in the heel, all the way past the front of your area. Now, do shift to the left and release the right heel to keep turning. Sorry. Now, keep the weight on the right. I'm sorry, on the left, lift the right, kick, and we'll keep going through the punch to groin for these weight things. So shift to the right fairly quickly. Step with the left, feel the weight go to the left foot for your punch. All right, let's do it one more time in case that wasn't totally clear. Feel more weight on the left than on the right. I'll do that. I'll say more weight on one foot than the other rather than percentages. That'll make sense. So feel suddenly more weight on the right so you can turn the left. Once you get it turned as much as you can, shift, feel more weight on the left so you can release the right and keep turning. Of course, keep the weight on the left while you lift the right foot. Keep the weight on the left while you kick. And then you'll put it down and feel the shift of the weight to the right. Until you touch with the left and then begin the shift. And now you feel more on the left than on the right. Okay, so hopefully that cleared up your cross-form kick question. Did we talk a little bit about how smoothing it out will take that turn away? I can't remember. Okay, cool. So, yeah, just a quick review of that if you don't remember. So, when we're learning it, it's good to shift and turn all the way, and you'll have this sort of awkward position, and then you'll shift to the left and release the right heel to keep turning, and it's a pretty awkward position here too, until you lift the knee, and then you feel the balance start to get better throughout it. Versus, reset, and then if we're to smooth it out a little bit, we're going to go shift and turn. And I'm not going to really stop. As I shift and keep turning, that's how I can pick up my foot. Does that make sense? Or do you need to see that again?
Just trying to see how far you squat to get the foot off.
Oh, yeah. So don't squat, but let's do this. Yeah, so when I shift and turn, and then release, here's a pretty good, we'll go back to the broken down version. Here's a pretty good amount of sink. It feels almost like I'm in a white crane or something like that. So, you know, it's not like a horse, racing horse, but yeah. Okay, so hopefully that adds a little clarity to your cross-form kick. It's a tricky move, even to this day. So, all right, let's go. You know, I realized last time there's probably some more detail to be wrung out of the punch to groin. No pun intended. I don't know how that would be fun. But let's start from here and go into more detail on the punch to groin. Oh yeah, so you can start, because it's weird to start mid-kick. We'll start here, and we'll touch. And remember, the foot comes in a little closer than you might have seen, and the arms are kind of out. And then when I shift to my right, there's this turn to the right, and then the arms also rotate as well. And that allows me to step. And they're kind of loading up the brush and the punch. Then I'll shift the weight, feel that weight sink onto the front leg before you turn, right? And then when you turn, it might have a familiar sort of releasing feel because you've sunk down. Yeah. Some of the mechanics feel like a brush knee push, even though it's aimed a little lower, and it's not a push, it's a punch. But a lot of what's happening in the low body has that sort of brush knee push feel to it. If you have any questions about that, well, let's practice that a few more times, and then if you have any questions, we'll take them. So, oh, let's get the starting position to do this, because it might be weird to start in the middle of cross-form kick for you. So you take your left toes, turn them out, about 45 degrees is good. You know, when you're doing the move, they might not turn that far in, so if you want to go out to 60, that's okay too. Let's do that, yeah. Let's go to 60 just to make it more realistic. And then you'll have the arms, the right arm's kind of rounded out, the left draped over, getting ready to get that hand out there to be kicked. And then the right foot would be kind of crossed over, so it'll feel a little off balance, but as Mr. Schwinn was looking at, if you sink and tuck, that off balance can be managed. Lift the knee, go up, touch, put it in a little closer, shift to the right, turn to the right, release the left, step to your double dragons, shift to the left, feel that sink in the left leg, and then turn. One more time. Together, that is. And begin. Lift. Touch. Shift. Turn. Step. Shift. Turn. Touch. Okay. Try that. Try that on your own. Either the cross-form kick or the cross-form kick and punch to groin, whatever you need to work on. So you could either start from piercing palm, or you could start from that mid cross-form kick position if you like. And so just for about a minute or two, just practice those moves as best you can. And then if you have any questions after that, we'll take those questions. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of those moves?
No, sir.
All right, cool. If you have any questions about those at home, send them in, and I'll try to clarify. And I really appreciate when you, many people, a few people at least, have sent in questions. I really appreciate when you say what you don't understand about it. That's awesome. Okay. Let's go from the end of punch to groin, review some of the moves that come after it, which are repeats, but let's just make sure we have them in our sequence and see if we have any questions that have come up since last time we looked at them. So, gonna be that ward off left, where you're gonna shift back, kind of make a circle with the arms, turn to the left, shift to the left, release the right heel. You can step in, out if you want, or not. Shift to the right, turn to the right, ward off right. Make sure the left hand is kind of put in front of the chest a little bit. Yeah, and then do your pull back and press, like you've always done. And your push, like you've always done, or at least you've done for a year or two. And then your single whip. Okay, let's do those again.
Yes, sir.
I'm starting to do hidden hand punch, oh boy. Shift back, turn to the left, shift to the left, step to the right, shift to the right, forward, back, press, push, single, okay, once more. Begin, feel that folding in the back. Just turn. Feel the folding on the left. With a release. Folding in the back. The release. Folding. The release. Folding in the left. Turn. Folding in the right. Release the left. Release the right. Okay.
And just a sort of, I'm gonna do a little side lecture on folding. Have you heard me say that before, folding? Okay, so this might be new to a lot of people. So, it's a concept of, an advanced concept. I would never talk about this in beginner class, but an advanced concept of what happens when we shift. So, from here, when I shift back, it's not just it's not just on a horizontal plane. When I shift back, I feel like my hip, my quad, kind of folds in on the back leg. It's a more three-dimensional thing than it might look like or that we might talk about it at first. So when we first learn shifting, it might seem like it's just back and forth, right? But it's not quite. There's a folding in the quad that feels like compressed power. So, yeah, so for instance, yeah, from after here, when I shift back, I feel a sinking, a folding in the quad right here. And when I turn, it's still kind of there. And it releases when I feel it happen on the left side here. And then when I shift forward, I feel a little bit in both, and I feel it release from the back leg. And so on and so forth. Every time you're shifting back, you can feel the folding there. And it took me a little while to embody what that meant, or to really feel it. But if you can start looking for it, you might get it right away, you might not. It's okay. Yeah, good. One way to kind of help with the folding is to use your head suspended too, right? So just for let's go to an old example of pull back, press, and push. An old example and the one we're doing right now, right? So when I shift back, if I keep my upper body perfectly vertical, there's no folding. It's straight, but it's not quite right. Now, if when I go back, I lean forward a little bit, there's at least a chance that I can fold correctly on the back leg. And you've probably heard me say this in different ways, like when you shift back, make sure not to lean back, you'll be off balance. But it's more important than that, because you're also, when you keep your head suspended, you're kind of folding that up. Now, I've said folding a lot. I don't know if it's any clearer or not, but do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's say we've got our grasp the bird's tail down, go to our single whip, and here's the meat. Oh man, yeah, time flies. Here's the meat of the class today: snake creeps down review. And there was another request as well to really spend some time on snake creeps down, even though we've already done it. And that's a good request because there's a lot to it. It's a pretty challenging move. So let's pretend we were going to teach this to beginners, and we'll do the beginner version before we talk about how to make it advanced. So the beginner stepping through version would be follow through, sink down, step in. Step back, aiming with the heel even if the toes touch first. Keep your weight on the front, turn the right toes out, shift to the right, and then turn the left toes in, and let the hips turn over so that it feels like your upper body is facing not that wall, not the front, but somewhere in between. Sink down, let the quad open, turn the left toes out, shift forward. Keep turning, turn the right toes in, and at the end it'll feel like you're in like an elongated single whip with your beak kind of behind you. And it comes out of it a different way. I don't know if we'll get to that today, but it comes out of it in a different way than when you did it the first time in this section. Let's do it again. Let's do that a couple more times and then see if we have questions. Follow through. Step back. Remember your step test. Turn the toes. Shift to the right. Turn to the right. Turn the left toes in. Let the arms circle around. Sink down. Let the left toes turn back out. Shift to the left. Turn the left. Turn the right toes in. Okay, one more time. Follow through. Step. Don't shift, turn the toes. Then shift, turn the left toes. Sink. Turn the left toes back. Shift. Turn the right toes in. And we'll leave it at that for a second. Cool. All right, yeah. Glad we did those. Riding wild horses right now. Okay. let's break it down, see it from the other side, and then if you have any questions, we'll do that. Remember, this is the learning version. If you see something go smoother or a little different than this, doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. So let me talk through it. Feel compression on the left, releasing the right. That's the follow through, step in part of it. From that compression, I can reach a little farther. Keep the weight on the left mainly, turn the right toes out. Do that shift where you're at that weird off balance 50-50 for a moment, but not for long. And let the left hand come around. Sink down. Turn the left toes out. Shift. Turn the right toes in. Okay, yeah. I could just do these all class. No, I couldn't. I could, but it would be sad and they would get worse and worse and worse as the day went on. So, do you have any questions about it, Mr. Schwinn?
No, the step test is crucial in this one.
Ah, very good observation. Is there more you want to say about that, or is that it? That's okay.
Windshield wipers,
Ah.
key.
Yeah, very good. So, so we had two very good points. The step test is crucial, and I could show you an example how it could be harder or worse on you without the step test. And then the windshield wipers feet. So this is a good example of windshield wipers feet. Yeah, so thank you for those comments, sir. So let me show you, I wouldn't do this with me because you don't want to copy bad habits. So let me show you what not doing the step test would look like. I would follow through, but then I would be going back, and then things are not quite right. My weight's already here, I can't turn these toes correctly, and I felt pressure in this knee from trying to go early and feeling it trying to come in. So the step test would mean that I sink, and I just reach. And I say aim with the heel because it might be about here and my heel hasn't touched. That's okay. I'm just putting the heel down. It's not a big, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. And then, as Mr. Schwinn observed, windshield wiper feet, yeah. So once I step, I turn the right out, I shift, I turn the left in, I turn the left out, I shift, I turn the right in. So yeah, it fits. I had forgotten that this is a good example of windshield wiper feet, but it fits the example. If you've done the Fair Lady Work shuttles or any of those kind of moves, it's even on the same side of the body, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. So if you recall your saber form, it's turned around 180 degrees. Oh wait, no, it isn't.
No?
No,
Same
it's not
direction.
turning around, is it? Yeah, so if you imagine the footwork of here, here, okay, it ends in a different place. But it's the same pattern of the one goes out, the other comes in. The one goes out, the other comes in. Cool. Any other questions or comments?
That's the two that get me.
Yeah. All right, I won't make you do too many more of these, but do about a minute's worth of however many snake creeps downs you want to fit into that for practice-wise. If there's any corrections to be made in here, I'll make it. If there's any questions at home, or no one's ever done this yet, by the way, but if you want to send me a video of you doing it, I'll correct that too. So, all right, practice on your own for just about a minute. Okay, cool. So let me bring up a few little things about snake creeps down that might help you improve your snake creeps down. One of those is going to be watch out for leaning too much. This is an old lesson from your Nakong Hit the Tiger, where if you see someone go very low, there's a bit of a lean, where is it? There it is, to be balanced, right? But if you're not going that low and you try to lean that much, it's actually off balance. I can feel it going that way, right? So that's the first thing about snake creeps down is it's a very similar actually to hit the tiger in what's going on in a lot of the body. But here, if I go down this far, I'm going to still be upright in the upper body. If I go down, I don't know how much I want to go down right now, but if I went down, say, this far, there's a bit of a lean to go with it to still have the balance and the connection. Is that visible, that amount of lean?
Yes,
I don't know if it is
yes.
or not. Okay, cool. So, counterexample, also you don't want to go low and stay totally upright. Ouch, ouch, it hurts. So, if you're upright, focus on head suspended. As you go lower, it'll still be head suspended, but you'll feel through it and you'll get the angle from that. Okay, so 2 other little points. One is to watch out for the heel coming up, all right? So if I'm here, this heel might want to pop out while I'm turning, so just make sure that the left foot is turning in on the heel and then turning back out on the heel so it doesn't move locations. Yeah. And then the trick to getting that to happen will be to let the hips turn over. I'll rate the same way as you. Yeah. So what I mean by that is when I turn these, when I shift, let the whole hip arm thing turn over, right? And then when I turn back, there'll be this momentary, you might have seen a statue of this moment where you're kind of turn a little bit, where you're kind of in this position. And that is part of it, right? Just towards the end. Okay. So this is sort of just a grab bag of snake creeps down directions, more ideas. There it is. Good, good, good. Yeah. And then turn it back out. Turn it back out. There we go. Okay, cool. Good job, sir. Any other questions on that?
No, just gotta practice.
Yeah, practice is key. So if you have any questions on snake creeps down, we may spend a little more time on it next class, but I think that's probably good for now. Let's go back and do what we're gonna do. We'll go from cross hands to pretty much as far as we can get in our black test training time. Okay. And begin. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. I'll say names. You can call them back if you want, or just move along with me. Grasp the bird's tail. And since you can't see right now if you're at home, we're on push. Diagonal single whip. Park the wild horses mane 1. Park the wild horses mane 2. Park the wild horses mane 3. Grasp the bird's tail. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Single whip. The non-diagonal kind. Four corners. Fair Lady work shuttles 1. Fair Lady work shuttles 2. Fair Lady work shuttles 3. And Fair Lady work shuttles 4. Grasp the bird's tail. Ward off left. Ward off right. Back press. single whip. Cloud hands. Cloud hands 1. Cloud hands 2. Cloud hands 3. Single whip. Okay, see if you can apply today's lesson to this one as well. Snake creeps down. Golden rooster stands on left leg. Golden rooster stands on right leg. Repulse monkeys 1. Repulse monkeys 2. Repulse monkeys 3. Slant fly. Lift hands. White crane spreads wings. Brush knee push. Needle at C bottom. Fan through back. Turn around, white snake spits its tongue. Hidden hand punch. Grasp the bird's tail. Press. Push. See if you can feel any of that folding that we talked about anywhere. Single whip. Cloud hands again. Cloud hands 1. Cloud hands 2. Cloud hands 3. Single whip. We're catching up to ourselves. Pat high horse. Piercing palm. Turn body, cross form kick. Brush knee punch to groin. Grasp the bird's tail. Single whip. Snake creeps down. Okay, so here we are, moment of decision. Should we keep going? Should we bow out? I say let's keep going. Step up 7 stars. We'll go slowly through these last ones just to give you a chance to really kind of soak it in if you don't know it yet. So step up 7 stars. Do your best to copy. We'll be kind of stopping. Step back, ride the tiger to the mountain. turn, sweep the lotus. You need to just copy the feet, that's fine. There's some similarities to cross-form kick, obviously. Bend, bow, shoot, tiger. Hidden hand punch. Withdraw and push. Cross hands. Feet together. All right. I'm glad we went through those last few moves. Feels good to complete it every now and then.
I didn't realize how close with the end we were.
Yeah, we're right
6
there.
moves. Oh.
6 moves. And some of those are repeats, right? Oh, no.
All but one.
At the end, yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Someone appreciated the slow-mo life skill again, so glad you're digging that. Let's do 2 slow, like we've been doing, let's do 2 slow ones and 1 regular one. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit. Oh, I said I was gonna go slow, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right, redo. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. There we go. I had no self-doubt in zooming through that. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. So see, yeah, not too fast. That's like about a normal speed for it. Sometimes I go faster, just get excited sometimes. So let's bow out our black sash training. Thank you, sir. Now to advanced intermediate students, whoever else is watching, black sash training dismissed.